Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Vizzy. This is the channel where tech is not everything, it's the only way. Today I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone as a longtime Sony user to try something a little different. So this is the Canon EOS RP paired with the RF 24 to 105mm f4 to 7.1 lens. Coming from using Sony full frame lineup like the A7 series and compact cameras like the RX100 and the RX1R Mark II. So I'm really curious to see how Canon entry-level full-frame mirrorless setup compares to what I'm used to. Is it a worthy companion or just another option? Let's talk about it. From my research, the Canon EOS RP is often described as the most affordable entry into the full-frame mirrorless world, making this camera a tempting option for photographers or hybrid shooters alike. This camera rocks a 26.2 megapixel sensor, Canon's dual pixel autofocus system, and a fully articulated screen designed to be user-friendly while still delivering quality results. As for the RF 105mm f4 to 7.1 lens, it's a versatile zoom lens perfect for general purpose photography through its variable aperture. First off, let's talk about the build quality. I'm used to the robust feel of the Sony A7 series, so the EOS RP feels a bit lighter and more compact, which I really like for travel or casual shooting. This is lighter weight and it's a huge plus to have a compact camera like this size. As for the grip, it's a bit more contoured, which is something I think Canon really nailed for a long shooting session. I find it very comfortable holding this camera. It fits perfectly in my hand. As for the menu system, navigating through the Canon menu system was definitely an adjustment. Sony users will know that the Sony interface can be a little overwhelming. I found the menus to be a lot more intuitive. It has fewer sub-menus. The icons make more sense visually. So in terms of ease of use, I think Canon wins in the user experience department. After using this RP in the field, I noticed that the lens and the camera combination offer a decent sharpness and contrast in well-lit conditions, but where it struggled, it was with low light. I mean, no surprise there, given that it's a f4 to f7.1 aperture. You know, I found myself pushing the ISO a lot higher than I'm comfortable with to get usable images, which introduce some noise in my images. So if you're used to shooting with Sony primes, this setup might feel limiting in dim environments. When it comes to autofocus, there's one thing I always admire about Sony. Sony is very reliable. Their eye tracking autofocus, even at a fast aperture, it keeps up. You know, the Canon EOS RP dual pixel autofocus was solid, especially for stills. What I've noticed, it locked onto face quickly and had no trouble keeping up with moderate motion. During video, I noticed it hunts, or sometimes it will take a while to recognize the face. Like if you put your hands in front of it and get that focus on your hands and you move it, it takes a long time to really get your face back. So I only really notice this when zooming or switching between background and background objects. I mean, this could be due to the lens variable aperture, which changes focus characteristics slightly as you zoom. As for the RF 24mm lens, it's quite different from what my Sony lenses like the 24 to 70mm f2.8 G Master offered. The slower variable aperture made getting consistent bokeh a challenge, and you don't get that same creamy background separation that, you know, I'm used to. On the other hand, the focal range and the image stabilization for handheld shooting and casual video clips, yeah, it's pretty good considering the price as well. On B&H, I went on there, you can get this setup with this lens for a little over $1,000. I'm pretty sure you can get the body used for way less. So now let's touch quickly on image quality. As a Sony user, I'm used to that super sharp image and great low light performance. I'll say the Canon EOS has a slight edge with their warmer and more accurate rendition of skin tones, which the Sony often, you know, overemphasize with the cooler hue. But the thing is, I do like the cooler hue in some people do like the warmer use. So, you know, it depends on what you like. This makes the RP a better option for casual portrait or just vlogs where you don't want to spend a lot of time grading. JPEG straight out of the EOS RP looks pretty good. As a Sony user, I'm used to having 4K full frame shooting capabilities. The EOS RP crops when shooting at 4K 24, well, it said 23 frames per second, but I just rounded off to 24, which was a little bit of disappointment. I'm used to the crop anyways, because my Sony a7 IV does crop at 4K 60, but when using a zoom lens, it really doesn't matter. For video shooters who care about full frame coverage, that's something to keep in mind. I mean, I have no complaints when it comes to the skin tone. It looks good right out of camera. I don't see anything in there that allows me to shoot in RAW. You know, and this is something Sony used to struggle with back in the day, but now you're getting some really good quality out of Sony cameras. With all that profile, they have the picture profiles like you get in S-Log 3, plus you get Cinetones, and I think my FX30 has a new profile, which I haven't updated yet to see how it looks, because right now I'm shooting in S-Log 3 and I baked the LUT into it. I realized baking the LUT into it saved me a lot of time, speed up my work process. You're watching this video right now, so you should tell me how it looks. I hear a lot of shit about Canon color science. The colors out of the Canon looks pretty good. You know, when it comes to memory cards, the Canon EOS RP only has a single card slot. It might feel limiting compared to some Sony models that offers dual slot for, you know, redundancy or separation of photos and videos. You get the option to do that. However, if you're using the UHS 2 cards, the Canon RP handles it very well for most of the photography needs. The standard 1080p or the 4K 23 video recording, I haven't had any problem with those, but I just want you to keep in mind for demanding shooting scenarios. So let's talk about battery life. As a Sony user, I'm used to getting a decent runtime like the A7 series. The Canon EOS RP is a bit of a different story. With a smaller LPE 17 battery, I found myself swap batteries more frequently, especially when shooting videos. If you're planning to shoot all day, definitely pack a few batteries or a power bank or something. For casual use or short photo sessions, you'll get through just fine with those short sessions. The LPE 17 battery in the EOS RP is rated for around 250 shots per charge. Comparing to Sony's 700 shots with the NP-FZ100, I can get away with just one backup. If battery life is priority for you, keep in mind when considering an entry-level camera like this, like the EOS RP. I have to say, I'm impressed. You know, Canon definitely has a lot to offer in terms of ease of use, autofocus, and the color science. The color science is not bad. Sometimes you have to really try something out and not just listen to what everybody says. It's not bad. If you're like me and you need advanced video features or faster glass with a wide range of third-party options, Canon RF24-105 may feel a bit limiting comparing to lenses I use on my Sony gear. The Canon EOS RP and the RF105mm f4 to 7.1 aperture, as a Sony user, I'd say it's a mixed bag. The camera is great for beginners or those who prioritize weight and budget. The slower lens and limited low light performance could definitely be a deal breaker for more advanced users. So if you're looking to experiment with the Canon system, the RP is a decent entry point. You might want to consider investing in a better lens like the RF 24-70mm f2.8 to really take advantage of what this camera can offer. And there you have it. As a Sony user, I definitely see the appeals to Canon system. Just like this, any other camera system, they do have their pros and cons. Overall, it was fun stepping into a different ecosystem for a while. Would I switch to Canon full-time? Probably not. Sony is still my go-to for my production or for my gig. I would not hesitate to recommend the EOS RP to anyone looking for accessible full-frame experience. Let me know down in the comments if you ever made this switch between these brands or if you're considering trying something new. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any video that I produce. So until next time, people of the internet, Vizzy, we out.